Welcome to the Simply Financial Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Calandra. Let's increase your financial IQ with today's episode, which is about savings accounts, or more accurately, online savings accounts. I believe in today's world, you are proactively giving away free money if you have your emergency fund and or a big balance sitting in a traditional savings account at a brick and mortar bank. Instead, you should be using an online savings account. I have used one for a very long time. Years ago, I'm talking 15 plus years ago, I was introduced to it actually by a client. Thank you, Susan. And according to a recent Money Magazine study, the savings rate in online savings accounts is about 23 times higher than what you get in your average savings account in a traditional brick and mortar bank. So interest rates have been going up recently as of this recording, but they are still very low. The point of this is not exactly what the interest rate is, because it will change over time. Depending on when you listen to this hopefully valuable information. But the idea is online savings accounts will have a return significantly larger than what you could get in a traditional savings account. Online banks have much less overhead expenses, so I believe that is a big reason why they are able to offer higher yield savings accounts. How does it work? These online savings accounts are subject to FDIC protection, so you don't have to worry about that. You open up an account online, you link it with your bank account, usually your checking account, and that typically is at an brick and mortar or a brick and mortar bank account. And you could easily move money back and forth. If I want to make a deposit into my online savings account, I could go on their website, authorize a transfer of money from my checking account to the online savings account. And it takes 1 to 2 days to do that, for that transaction to go through. When I want to do the reverse and I want to take money out of the online savings account, put it into my checking account, I do the same exercise. I go to the website, I authorize the transfer, and then the money will show up in my checking account within 2 days. A word of caution. This works very, very well, but it's best for situations when there are limited transactions. You do not want to use this, I don't think, to pay your electric bill every month or your car payment every month. This is best for money that's an emergency fund, which you're not likely to touch very often, or money that you might be saving for a big purchase like a car, a house, a vacation, something along those lines. I guess you could make transactions all the time. I preferred for money where you're only making a few transactions. As you might expect with the technology, you could also automate your savings where you have X number of dollars go from your checking account to the online savings account every month. And I do that, and it works out very, very well. Please do your homework on the different online savings accounts. I will tell you that I personally use Marcus by Goldman Sachs. That's not a recommendation. There are many, many good online banks out there. I used to use something called ING Direct. That got merged into, I don't know which one it got merged into. But there are other players. There's Ally Bank. There's Barclays. There's Synchrony. There's Capital One. There are a lot of choices out there. I have come across lots of clients that use one or more of these, and they all seem to be pretty comparable. I'll also say that some people have begun, and the offerings from these online banks have increased over the years, expanded since I started using them. So you can get checking, CDs, and other services from those banks. I have not tapped into that. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but I really like the marriage of the brick and mortar for my basic checking account, for my typical bill paying activity, and pairing that with the online bank where I house my emergency fund. That's where I save my quarterly tax payments because I'm self-employed. I have quarterly tax payments. that need to be made. So I'll keep that money in the online savings account too. And on occasion, if I'm saving for something that's a big purchase, I'll use the online savings account. But again, I'm typically not going to be putting money in, money out all the time to pay bills. Thank you so much for listening. Please, if you haven't considered and looked into an online bank account, do so you could capture a higher interest rate and make sure that your savings money, your bank monies, if you will, is earning a very competitive interest rate. Thanks for listening to today's episode. I encourage you to check out my website, elliottwealth.com, where you could find out more about me and the rest of the team here at Elliott Wealth, how we work with our clients, work towards the achievement of their goals, help them win with money. Please also subscribe to the podcast if you haven't done so already. That would mean a lot to me. I'll be back with you on the next episode of the Simply Financial Podcast very soon. Thank you.
The views expressed are not necessarily the opinion of SagePoint Financial Incorporated and should not be construed directly or indirectly as an offer to buy or sell any securities mentioned herein. Investing is subject to risks, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Please note, the information being provided is strictly as a courtesy. When you link to any of the websites provided here, you are leaving this website. We make no representation as to the completeness or accuracy of the information provided at these websites, nor is the company liable for any direct or indirect technical or system issues or any consequences arising out of your access to your use of third-party technologies, websites, information, and programs made available through this website. When you access one of these websites, you are leaving our website and assume total responsibility and risk for your use of the websites you are linking to. Securities and advisory services are offered through SagePoint Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Insurance services offered through Elliott Wealth Management, LLC, not affiliated with SagePoint Financial.